Hey, I'm Praise.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're the hosts of the Good Sense Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the Good Sense Podcast. And this week we're here with our lovely friend Koshi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes, girl.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Of
We're
course.
so
Agree.
excited to have you here.
Of course.
Yes.
So this week, I've been obsessing about Will Smith, best shape of my life.
Yeah.
And who better to talk about it with these two ladies?
Yeah. Of course.
So we're going to dive in. Let's talk about Will Smith, best shape of my life, and probably a few things that were like great, not so great, things we could learn from. So my first question would be, how did you find best shape of my life?
You want to go first?
Sure. I'll go
Okay.
first.
Okay.
First of all, I feel like, number one, I stumbled upon it. I did not think I was about to watch like a 4-episode series.
Yeah.
6 episodes?
Six
There we go. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to be 6 episodes. I thought it was just going to be something short, best shape of my life in that one episode.
Yeah.
So then, like, by the time you get into episode 1, you guys all know you're now hooked by it. For me, the biggest things that I learned in it is, number one, I loved how it made him so much more human.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It humanized Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yes, he's more than
The
just Will
legend.
Smith. Man in Black, Will Smith, I'm Legend. I feel like this man has been like a machine
Right.
most
Yeah.
of his career. Will Smith
Yeah.
had a good body, had things done.
Amazing personality
Yes.
all the time.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Right.
everything.
Right. And then within that one, like it just, even the way it begins, where it's like he's showing us his belly. He's
Yeah.
like, I have to lose all this
Oh,
weight and
yeah.
everything. It's like, wow, okay, cool. You're human too. That's great. You need to lose some lbs.
But then,
That's great.
just to track back,
Yeah.
didn't Jada humanize him faster than best shape of my life, though?
Listen.
No, she did not.
You better put some respect on my boy's
No,
name.
she did not. I would rather stay away from this conversation
She's trying to
because
get controversial.
no.
I thought we're talking about the series. But you know what? I agree with what you're saying, especially for me. It was, first of all, the first episode is him trying to lose 20 pounds in 20 weeks.
Right.
And there's a point where he's talking to the Men in Black
Oh, cardboard
thing, and he's like, I could have
Right.
if I was younger, I would have done this in 6 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to the weigh-in, and he's gained 1 pound.
Yes.
Right.
So I was like,
week,
oh, what?
you know, that was so relatable to me.
Mm-hmm.
I gained weight. Like my, grown up body started coming up. So I decided, you know what? You know, when you gain weight, you're not quite comfortable in it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I decided I'm going to go to the gym, and I was so used to my young body. If I go to the gym,
Right.
week 2,
You're good.
We're good.
You're starting to see
A
results.
month, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm looking, the greatest. So I went to the gym, and one week went by. I'm thinking I lost a pound. I didn't. I gained
Right.
something. And then
Right.
a month went by. I didn't.
I'll never
lose
forget
anything.
you repeating that number.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm still at.
Every time. And 4 months went by, and nothing had happened.
Was
did
still
not
very
change.
Still the
legit.
same. I had a personal trainer.
Yeah, you were
I was
working.
eating good.
I think I remember this. I think I used to come over, and she'd be like, I'm going to yoga. You want to join? I'm like, no, I'm going to stay here.
It was just more than yoga. I had a personal trainer. We were
Yeah.
doing high intensity
She
training,
worked hard.
everything.
Boxing.
Yes,
The
pushing
works.
through, and then I was still the same weight. So when he gained weight, oh wow, I was like, I knew it. I knew I had to stay. The main reason why I wanted to watch it was because he said 20 pounds in 20 weeks, and I'm like, oh, a pound a week. That is
Right.
such
It's
a good
easy.
humble goal.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That is something I want to watch. So
Right.
I clicked in and I found something different.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't regret clicking it. That was like phenomenal series.
Yeah.
For me.
Even just like, because I was never gonna watch it, I'm being honest, guys, but when Praise suggested that I should check it out, first episode I was like, okay, I can kind of get into this. But just like seeing, for me, I think the humanity came when he, first of all, when he saw his weight, like that he had gained a pound, and he kind of joked about it, but then you could tell it was setting in, and his attitude changed. He canceled his workout the next day, or he just didn't show up.
Right.
And then there was a quote that he said, impertinence is the law of the universe, you're gonna change. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. Like sometimes we want to hold on to who we are, the way we handle things, the way our body reacts to things, but change is gonna happen, and it's inevitable.
I loved when you're talking about change. I loved what Will Smith said when he was like, no matter how good you get a situation, it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter how good you get it, the way you want it, how perfect you want it, like it's still gonna change.
Right.
And I think that mixed with when he started training, I remember he had his mindset, I'm gonna push. Hey, he's Men in Black. He is Will Smith. He's legend.
Yeah.
Right.
And when he was pushing, he was struggling, and he was like, is it my mind or is it my knees? And his trainer was like, it's your knees.
He's like, no, it's
To
not, it's my
me-
mind.
Yeah, to me, when he started talking about the law of the universe, how his body aging was teaching him about the law of the universe, I think expressing that type of mentality for me was something that was also so relatable. We all change, we grow up, things happen,
Life
your body is becoming slower. Sometimes you're at your peak. Right now we are in our 20s, our bodies can be at
I know,
their
we still
peak.
cute.
Yeah, but then even
I'm a forever
but do you know
peak.
even
you
At
know,
80 years
I'm not gonna
old.
speak that
but
into
do you know
existence.
even do you know that some things can change? When I was
Yeah.
hearing that, things can change to the point where even if you're in your 20s, something can happen and you won't have your arms and your
Yeah,
legs.
for sure.
Absolutely.
You
For
can get
sure.
sick and your body is not the same anymore. So him
Absolutely.
saying that, him like noticing how his body was teaching him all of that,
Right.
it just taught me mortality. To me,
Right.
that was like existential crisis, just like explained by a person.
Right.
And I'm like, I can relate to that. I can.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think on that one, I guess we kind of saw it similar but different as well. Because
Okay.
how I saw it is
Yeah.
I pray I have grace on myself when I get to that place where my body is just not reacting the way I want it to
Yeah.
react.
Oh yeah.
And I'm only at this age, and I've already been like, well, even like what you were saying, where you're like, before you could be like, I'm gonna lose this weight in a week, and you're good. And how many times that has happened to me as well, and I beat down on myself for so much. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never gonna be the same again. But that just allowing that grace to be like, okay, I'm older now. How can I change this? How can I change that? Just being able to shift that and still loving yourself still through that change and loving yourself through that, you know, you're in a new era. You're in a new
A new season.
a new season. That's the best way. Yeah.
because things happen, and like even as you watch the series, you see him beat up on himself, but still kind of get back to it. You see him kind of make excuses for making this documentary. You know, he has to write the book, and he rather write the book. He doesn't want the
Right.
book to suffer at the hand of making the series. So even at some point, he quits the series, but then he comes back. So I think it's just coming back. It's always just
yes.
remembering why you even started in the first place. Even if you have those moments of like, I don't want to do this anymore, I quit. For me, it was just shocking seeing him quit, because I said, Will Smith? Like,
The number of times Will Smith said, I quit.
literally
In that
the
series
fact that it was
alone.
more than once.
Yo.
I would like to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
I was thinking about this as I was reflecting. I feel like he started Best Shape of My Life and lose 20 pounds in 20 weeks as a way of, it's a form of procrastination. Because he already had a really tight deadline
Yeah.
for finishing his novel.
Yeah.
Why are you starting
Memoir.
this new
Yeah.
this new challenge?
It was already
Why
insane.
now?
Yeah.
To be honest,
Why?
I think I can kind of relate to Will Smith. Not that I'm Will Smith, but
You're not?
Aspirations, right? Aspirations.
one day I'm gonna be legend, people.
Yes, you will be.
Speak it, girl.
I can kind of relate in the sense that I am such a multitasker.
Okay.
I don't like doing just one thing at a time.
Okay.
And I can also relate when that deadline was like kind of aching, he was running away to like physically like work it out. I do that.
Yeah,
It's
homeboy went
easy
to Dubai.
Yes. And he was climbing stairs on the like
The
the
Burj
tallest
Khalifa, yeah.
Yes.
When he was still left with 10 chapters.
Yeah. And
So
his
suspicious.
personal assistant, y'all. His personal assistant was sending
Shout
him
out to you.
voicemails.
You do a great job.
You
She
know?
was on him.
We don't know her name because she was saved as WS assistant,
We don't
but
know. I'd have called
she
you out,
really, that homegirl was holding it down.
Snap.
Like, hey, you haven't sent me those chapters. Hey, we still haven't sent those chapters.
Can't
Hey,
push the deadline.
anything to send to the publishing group? Like, she
Yeah.
was. Oh my gosh, I hear both of your points though.
Yeah.
That it's in his character to multitask and to want to do everything at one
It
time.
was, yes. Why can
But
you
then
just
at the
have one
same
thing
time,
done?
it was also a bit too much to ask for.
Yeah.
To think that you can focus on all those things and give everything 100%. Something
Right.
was gonna suffer in the meantime. Like until he figured out a balance, there was gonna be
Yeah.
a little bit of
Yeah.
imbalance. But I would also.
I
I
think
have a
there comes
question.
my favorite. Sorry. You can go on.
Okay. So for you as the person who likes to multitask,
Yeah.
how do you feel like you manage to give 100% to everything you're doing? Or how do you manage your energy?
Oh,
When
it
you're doing
is
those
stressful.
things.
Everything Will Smith was doing is everything I do. I just don't have 5,000 people like trying to keep me accountable. It's me
Oh.
and me alone. So sometimes I can like try and go like, okay, I'm like WS assistant to myself, so I can like bounce back a bit quicker. And I'm not like much accomplished, so I'm still kind of hungry, so I can like
Okay.
get up. But I think my favorite part comes in when he hit a wall because he was mentally, emotionally, physically draining himself. Like he
Yeah.
was doing a lot of emotional digging
Yeah.
from the past about traumatic events. So he
Yeah.
could write a memoir at the same time. He's at a calorie deficit. That alone is just crazy. Calorie deficit, you're not yourself. No wonder why he quit. And then that's when he then explained to his camera crew. That was like my favorite part, where he ended up sitting them. He quit. He ended up 24 hours later. The camera crew came to his room to
again.
just to check. Okay, is
You
he in the
sure?
mood today?
Right.
And he sat them down and he was like, okay, here's the thing. I'm no longer acting anymore. I am going to be focusing on writing the memoir. And I'm quitting best shape of my life. He did not quit working out. He continued, but he just quit filming whilst working out. I think watching that, for me, I noticed that if I have 5,000 things going in the new year, I would set like, I'm going to therapy, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to hit a wall because I'm emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, like just pulling myself in different directions. And then I'm going to quit everything. And by the end of the year, I'll be like, oh, I couldn't do it because it was too much. What I learned from Will Smith was he knew what to prioritize. So he quit filming The Shape of My Life, but he didn't quit working out.
Yeah.
He then told his camera crew that what I'm doing is now your content for the movie. And to be honest, that turnaround for me was perfect. It was good to see, and it was good to read too in his book.
Go
She
ahead,
has
show
the
the
book.
book.
Yeah. I think what I learned is don't quit everything. If you're a multitasker like me, don't quit everything. You're gonna hit a wall. Of course, it's crazy, but prioritize.
Right.
Losing weight doesn't have to be in 20 weeks. He noticed that he was gaining a pound a week sometimes.
Yeah.
Even if he was on a calorie deficit, he can stretch that deadline. What needed to be attended to was the book. If he did not meet that deadline, a lot of people are going to suffer. So I think prioritize things that you know, okay, this I cannot change, that I can, and taking, bite size at a time.
Right.
I think it's making me think about the parallels of like the female experience to watching his experience. As females, you find you're just multitasking. You're trying to juggle everything.
Yeah.
When we become mothers, we're going to try and juggle being mothers and being working women and being wives if we have husbands. You know, because I don't want to exclude, you know, the single moms.
Right.
You want to juggle everything. You want to give everything 100%. But sometimes you might find that something is slipping through the cracks along the way.
Yeah.
And it's okay to kind of take a step back, because even it reminds me of the point where it's slipping my head, but there was a point where it's slipping me. I'll bring it up if it comes after. But just as females, you find you try to juggle everything, and sometimes you're unable. You're unable to do it all.
Right.
And that's okay. Like, focus on the one thing that you can do in that moment and give that 100%.
Right.
Then get to the next task, then get to the next task.
Yeah.
It's even in episode 2, when he was talking about his father and the wall.
Yes.
His father said, don't worry about building the wall, just lay one perfect brick today.
Yes.
So I think that's very important. It's like, just focus on the task at hand. Focus on what you can achieve right now.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be handled at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the series, Koshi?
Me?
Yeah.
I think for me, the part I related to the most is when he was speaking about Fluffy, the people pleaser in him,
Oh, yeah.
because he named him Fluffy.
Mr.
That was a great
Nickname.
nickname, because I can relate to being a people pleaser to the bone. And I think even when he told his camera crew he was done, I could actually feel his, like, I can imagine being in that place where everyone is here because of you, and then you have to pull the plug.
Yeah.
And I commend him so much in even just being able to do that, because it's, being a people pleaser is at some point it becomes so comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes your norm. It's like, oh my goodness, is this, like, it's just so many things that are going on in your head. Barely is it entirely your decision, but your decisions are very much based on, how is X going to react?
How are they going to receive
How is
it?
this person going to react? And to be honest, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's absolutely exhausting. And I just, that was the best part for me. And I think.
Thank
What
God
was
you
your
said
best part?
that. Well, now she's reminding me of the example I wanted to bring up, was when he went to the gym and that boy had come up to him and wanted to take a video of him, and he put the hand in his face or in the
And then
camera.
he went and he cried.
And then he went and he cried
Yeah.
because he consistently had to say no, but that hurt him. The fact that he wasn't able to be Mr. Fluffy, he
Right.
wasn't able to be the Will Smith that everyone kind of dreams of meeting.
Right.
You get that one chance, and he's not in the mood.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so
it's hard. And again, I think I understand him going back to cry,
yeah,
because
Wow.
I know you guys spoke about, I think Nicole's an extrovert in one of the previous episodes. I'm an extrovert as well. And I'm also that person who's usually, you're the happy one, you're the fun one, you're, you know, the life of the party. And if I'm even like not okay emotionally, I have to check myself.
yeah,
Because it's like, this is,
it's
you're
not normal.
you're expected to be okay. You're expected to be the life of the party.
Yeah.
You don't get to not be okay. You don't get to not be in a mood.
Because everyone receives you a certain way.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I noticed, I did that to you, when you were just quiet, I'm like, what is wrong?
What's wrong?
Are you okay? You seem foul.
Super sweet.
But do you ever find that, like, even as like extrovert to extrovert, because you're usually the one who's always good, always okay.
Right.
No one ever checks in on you.
Life of the party.
Right.
If you
Making
have a bad
everybody
day,
happy.
you still know how to fake it till you make it.
Right.
You still know how to do the right thing, say the right words, act the right way, even if internally you're not feeling 100%.
You could be dying on the inside, but there's like a smile plastered on your face, and nobody would
Because I know what they
notice.
expect from me. I know they expect a joke. They expect the wittiness.
So no matter
Guys,
no matter
check
when
on
I
your
say
extrovert.
it's true. And
Check on your extrovert.
you should. We're not okay all the time. Not every time. 70% we're good.
70%.
But that's 30. And I think that's why it's so important to have good, deep, meaningful relationships.
Yeah.
Because
They
as
know,
much as
even when
because
you
she
don't
know
say
like
it.
I say she because like it's praise where if I'm down sometimes I'm down because I just want a second to just chill
To charge.
but sometimes
Now I get it.
you're gonna ask me are you okay and I'll just start bawling I start crying I'm not okay
It's the
all or
are you
nothing.
okay and the immediate tears.
Exactly.
Extroverts are all or nothing people.
Yeah.
and I've appreciated every single time she's asked because now I'm like in any relationship
Meghan
that I'm
Markle.
in I'm like
How are you? And then she'll
yeah you're like I just need someone to ask me I just need just
man.
that question
Side note, when like I found that moment very powerful that she didn't make an excuse. The first thing she said was the truth. I'm not okay.
oh right
With
that's
Meghan
very
Markle.
true.
Because if
Yeah.
it was me, I'd be like, oh, I'm chilling, I'm fine. As you keep asking me, then maybe I might be like,
So you need to probe a little bit.
yeah. But her, she was just like, I'm not okay.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I think she was now fed up.
Mm-hmm.
She was now fed up.
Do you know the
but-
question I had in my head?
Mm.
I don't want to say this probably because hey, it could be controversial, but I'm saying it anyway.
Go ahead.
How does a reporter get to ask your wife how are you and she bowls and she goes nobody has been asking?
I'm sure her husband was
But
asking.
her husband was, because as we watched more interviews and
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
just him recalling not wanting to leave her because she was having suicidal thoughts.
Right.
Obviously, they were having conversations,
Yeah,
but I
I
think
so.
she means the rest of the world that's around you,
The
because
rest of the
sometimes you get used to the people in your space,
Right.
but other people that you're interacting with, if they care about you, you almost wonder, like, you can't see a switch, you can't see that, like, something's a bit
Oh
off.
my gosh.
Oh,
You know?
So it takes probably a stranger, somebody who's looking from the outside in, to say how are you, and you'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, or maybe just not the person that you
It's
so
evident I'm
easily
not
open
okay.
up to.
Right.
Okay,
The
I get
ones
it.
that are
I get
around
it.
you that you kind of, you know, you have a relationship with, but maybe it's not as easy to tell them.
Mhm.
You kind of hope that they see.
They see that you're not
They
okay.
see that there's a change in your demeanor, there's a change in your
Right.
tone. You don't do the same things you used to do. You don't have the
Right.
same habits. I think that's what she meant in terms of nobody has asked me, because she had staff around her. She has the extended family around
Right.
her.
Yeah.
There's people who are in her space all the
Yeah.
time who aren't necessarily hairy.
Oh yeah, I think this takes me back to how if you notice during the series, Will Smith's I think therapist said humor was his biggest armor.
Yes.
So if he was in pain, if he was sad,
Oh my
he
goodness.
needed to feel like he could be the life of the party.
Definitely
And I think
right.
the most notable one for me was when he, at 9 years old, blamed himself for his father physically abusing his mother because he felt like he wasn't catching his attention enough.
That episode was hard for me.
Yeah.
Just because, for those of you who haven't watched it, he did book camps where he was reading chapters of his book to the people that were in the book or in
Right.
that chapter, so they could
Yeah.
kind of hear it first and give
Yeah.
him notes and whatever. And even when he was reading that with his mom there and his brother there, the reactions, him saying it, like, you could tell it was still something so,
sore.
yeah.
And he's 52, but this happened when he was 9.
Yeah.
And I I
Yeah.
can relate.
There's a quote, now that
Yeah.
you're saying, sorry
Go
guys,
ahead,
I just
yeah.
keep quoting things because it was actually a great series. But he said, how we decide to confront our fears, that is the person we become. I decided to become funny.
Yes.
So that was his way of confronting his fears. That was his way of kind of getting through the world. And even just him saying that he needed to make an imaginary world for himself in order to
Right.
get through the real world.
Right.
Yeah, he mentioned he became funny. The other one became flight. The other one became fight.
Right.
Or the one of the twins,
Right.
flight and fight.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, those two are twins?
yeah, they're twins. It's mentioned in the book. Read the
Oh,
book.
yeah?
Read the book,
I can
y'all.
tell you their
You just said
birthdays
brother
too.
and sister.
We're gonna borrow
in
it
the
for
series.
the Oh my
I
gosh.
think talking about that episode as well, I think the biggest lesson also to pick from the series was forgiveness. In the series, they note that the biggest contention that he had in his life was his relationship with his father. That's where his biggest contention lied.
Right.
And I can't imagine what it feels like to have your own parent sit in your heart like that.
Right.
I mean, that stuff is that it's deep. Clearly,
Yeah.
at 52, is still working through it.
Yeah.
After this man is long gone.
Right.
Even like, didn't he? We were talking about this earlier in his last days when he was. He
Oh,
knew he
yeah,
was
yeah,
dying,
yeah.
and Will recalled a situation where he was wheeling him
down.
down
Oh yeah, so I
somewhere.
was getting to that one.
Yeah, and he really, for a second, contemplated, if I push him down the stairs, no one will ever, like, question Will Smith. Like,
How
I'm
will they
Will
know?
Smith. Like,
How will
who
they
gonna tell them, Sway? Like,
how would they know?
how will they know?
We laugh, but it ain't funny.
But it's not funny. But just having that moment, even just saying that out loud, that he had a moment where he really questioned, you know, finally getting that revenge that he
Right.
always wanted.
For decades,
But then
I
didn't
wanted
take
to
it.
revenge this man.
Yeah,
For decades, and then the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "You did good."
you did good.
Wow.
And the man wasn't even willing to be part of the conversation at first.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Nah, I'm doing it." He was like, "You did good with your life." He honored him in
He
his
honored
last
him,
minutes,
yeah.
and he was like, "I need you to know that I'm gonna take care of everybody you love. You did
Yeah.
good. You raised me. I'm me." He took the good out of it. I feel like him saying that, when you can kill him and get away with it, don't kill your parents, people.
Full circle moment.
But that's so powerful. That's forgiveness. That's freedom. I think one of the book tours he went to, when he was talking about that story, he was legit crying. And he was like, what was I going to gain from holding on to that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that's the blessing, though, that, like, his dad had long life, so he was able to go through those emotions in time and while the person was still alive.
Right.
A lot of people don't have that option. People die prematurely,
Right.
or, you know, things happen where
Oh, yeah.
you're not in contact with somebody that you never get that chance for closure.
Yeah.
And so it's a blessing that he did get that chance for closure and ultimately say, you did well.
you did
You know,
good.
he didn't say I forgive you verbatim, but I feel like that's what he was trying to say. Like,
Right.
I have let this go.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
You can
made
go
me.
now,
Yeah.
you know? So, I think, the whole series, like, I said this earlier, I was not going to watch it, but I'm grateful that Praise made me watch it, because
Yeah.
it definitely made me look introspectively. It made me think about my habits, my character, the things that I've kind of used as coping mechanisms,
Oh, yeah.
the things that I have joked about that were not funny.
Right.
Yes.
The many tasks I've taken on that I didn't need to, just
Oh,
because I need to be
man.
busy, I need to be seen working, I need to be seen as, you know, our generation is like that hustle culture.
grind. Right?
So
It's a
you
grind.
need to be seen like you're doing something. You're out in these streets, you're working, you're making money, you know? Boss
Nicole
babe.
is making moves.
You're
these
making
days.
moves. You're not just chilling.
Oh my god.
But it's
Yeah.
okay
Right.
to just sit down. It's okay. Like, when he quit, guys, I'm telling you, Will Smith quit so many times in this series.
So many. It's normal to quit sometimes.
It's
but then
normal.
he'll go back. Do you know, I used to define consistency in doing something through and through without saying the word I quit. But sometimes you have that time when you hit a wall and you have to sit back and, okay, reflect, and then, okay, what am I carrying on with?
Yeah.
And I feel like this series was teaching a lot about that, immortality, like just existential crisis. Like, explained. It was very relatable.
Yeah.
And so, guys, this is us. This is our review on Will Smith, Best Shape of My Life.
Yeah.
If you get the chance to watch it, please watch it. Comment. I want to know what somebody else learned.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like, comment
did you
2
guys pick
things
up
that
from
you
it?
really like. Yeah, I'd love to interact with more people about this series. Like, share, subscribe this episode, and we appreciate you for logging in again. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.